Greetings, mortals! I'm Shae, Prince of Madness, God of Chaos, and other things. I'm not talking about them. What I will talk about is my guests for episode 26 of Irrelevant Interviews Online. Entertain me, mortals!
Hello? Welcome aboard.
Arr, matey.
Yeah, matey. Welcome on the motor.
I always start by asking, how many of you has already been interrogated by me? I think only one person here. So since you already know all the answers, I'm gonna start with you, Celine.
All right.
Tell me, what was your last cosplay?
My last cosplay, I actually think it was Wednesday. I started right at the beginning of this year. So, yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Wednesday?
She's a very moody teenager from, the Addams family. Where, they're a creepy family. And she starts at Nevermore. My version is from the new Wednesday series. And yeah, she likes mysteries. She likes all the creepy shit you can think of. Very dark person, dry humor. We love it. Yeah.
It's rare for me to have already watched a recent series, but I have seen Wednesday, so I've seen the outfits. Have you ever participated in cosplay contests?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, so can you tell me what's the funniest thing you remember during a cosplay convention?
Oh, funniest thing. That's a good question. I think it's probably not like the funniest for everyone. It's more like I go with a group of friends, and we just enjoy being there together. And some of us participate in like quizzes and all the events at cons. And it's just it's just fun being there, and at times a funny moment happens, but it happens in that moment, and after that you kind of forget it at some point.
Yeah, like living the moment is the fun part.
Yeah.
I don't know if I asked you this the last time, but can you tell me how many cosplayers does it take to change a light bulb?
How many cosplay? I would say one, but if you're really stupid, then like a lot.
What's the stupidity ratio to need more than
Like,
one?
okay, I mean, it depends on how high up the light bulb is, but let's say 3 people, like one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one screwing it.
You need a lot of balance.
Yeah.
Or to be a cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly.
Final question for you. Can you tell me how many light bulbs does it take to change a cat?
To change a cat?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
I don't know either. That's why I'm asking. Okay, I already told you that we're missing Trooper Heinz, but we can continue without him until he shows up because he has already been interrogated by me as well. I'm gonna continue with. I don't know how to pronounce that. Shae Tallad.
Tallad, yeah.
Shae Tallad. Shae Tallad. What are you wearing right now?
Ornaments.
Ornaments.
Ornaments. No, yeah, I'm sure you've not heard about the energy issues in Europe. I participate. I will bring the electricity and warmth.
Green.
You know, it's you gotta contribute. But this is the jacket from the main protagonist from Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, V, of course, V. Yeah. And it sometimes changes lights. But I like.
Did you make that?
Yes, definitely.
Nice. I have a certain aversion to electronics, so I avoid using them on my cosplays.
Understandable, but it's always when there's a light in the costume, it catches your eye and it makes it so much better.
I can't deny that.
And in this case, if there's photographers trying to take a sneak shot, you blind them. See nothing on the picture.
Effective anti-sniping methods.
Exactly.
So you can control the level of lighting?
In this one, not. In my previous, so I had multiple ones, but my first version, I could put it lower and higher. But we decided to go full blast on the new version, and it's only eye blinding.
And what can you tell me about Cyberpunk?
Well, Cyberpunk is the future we're heading towards now. Unsure. We recently had a beautiful spin-off. Its very own anime show.
Edge Runners.
Edge Runners, of course. And it has this beautiful universe where it seems that Night City has... and its inhabitants have pretty much not polluted the world, but let themselves go. And violence is the way to succeed in Night City.
Violence is the daily bread at Night City.
Yeah.
Have you competed in cosplay contests?
Multiple. Multiple. Only in the Netherlands, though. I've participated with this costume as well. Ended up second in that one. And yay. No, it's unfortunately always second because each time I am participating, I luckily do get a spot in the top 3, but always second, never first. But I've participated with my V. I've participated with, from The Witcher, you have the Brewis, one of the bigger ladies, of one of the crones she is. And what else did I participate in? Oh, quite recently, actually. Also from Cyberpunk. One of the non-playable characters is a trauma team medic. And I did that as a duo together with my boyfriend, who was Dave from Edge Runners.
Cool.
Yeah, actually, I have played Cyberpunk. I haven't played a DLC. I still have it installed. So I'm considering to play it, but you know how it is. So much to play, so little time.
Exactly, time. I see everybody nodding. Time. Yeah. So many shows to watch, so many costumes to make, and so many games to play.
And so little energy for everything.
And let's not forget our supposed bread and butter, the income that needs to happen.
Mhm. The hardest part.
Yep. Rip. We salute.
Actually, this year I also got a spot for our Comic Con contest. So I wasn't planning to do much myself, but in order to honor that spot, since there are only 32 people who can get in the contest, I'm making an effort, and I'm making the two weapons that my character wields.
Okay. Add some light.
But it has some shiny parts, but I'm relying on the reflective tape instead of actual lights.
Which is also great for photographers. The second they flash, shot's ruined.
While Trooper Heinz isn't here, that's my weapon. That green thing is one of my weapons. It's full of green reflective tape.
Okay. Nice. When is it due? When do you have to have it finished?
May 6th is the contest.
Okay. You'll make it, right? We'll be
Weapons.
here cheering.
Yeah, I'm counting on that. Last year, I actually got in the top 8 with my Scarlet cosplay from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice. Mortal Kombat. I like that. That's great.
Yeah. So I'm trying at least to make it to the top 8 this time again. Now, tell me, what's the funniest thing you remember during a cosplay contest?
During a contest.
Yes, while on
Funny for me
stage.
or funny for others?
Funny for you.
Well, I guess enough time has passed that it can be funny. So, as a cosplayer, you sometimes need to have these creative solutions to problems. And I think this was one of my very earlier costumes, and I was back then still very much in League of Legends. And one of the champions I wanted to do was Zyra, classic skin Zyra, and she's pretty much a plant lady with some leaves covering her. So, in order to have some floating leaves, what I did was have these stick-on bras and have some foam pieces on it shaped like leaves. And this contest was in the summer, like sweaty, sticky. Oh, I see girls already understanding where it's going. Well, anyways, once you get a little bit sweat, a little moisture underneath your sticky bra, that thing will let go. And I had my Zyra whips because she has these nice tentacles coming from her hands, and I had some whips. And, it was sweaty and warm. And on stage, right, for my Maman Supreme, I did a whip with both of my whips. That force caused my leaf stick-on bras to fling off. Luckily, no, not luckily, but by sheer luck, I had two pairs. So I had one pair that was sticking on and one pair that had the foam on it. But to everybody's eyes, it looked like there was just flesh-colored. So these things fell off. Flesh-colored was remaining. Everybody in the crowd went, "Whoa!" And this was, well documented. And a friend photographer, well, he's a friend, but has the slow-mo pictures of me going like, "No," and picking it up. So that was definitely a very interesting and, in hindsight, funny moment. But
Does this count as catastrophic malfunction?
yeah. I guess sometimes a prop breaks, sometimes something tears, and sometimes gravity takes. Yeah.
Gravity, the greatest enemy of all.
Yep. But that is my funny cosplay contest story. The rest is not that eventful.
There's one thing I forgot to ask Celine, but I'm going to ask it to you. What's the strangest material you have used for a cosplay?
Was it for me or her?
Oh, sorry. I thought for Celine, right? Oh, this
Yeah,
wait.
it's for both of you, but
Okay.
let's hear Shae first.
For Brewis, so she has a basket head, and I wanted to go all authentic because I wanted to do competitions. So what I did, I gathered twigs in the forest, and I had to steam them to actually weave the basket for a basket head. So twigs.
Organic. What
I
about Celine?
think the strangest. I bought for my classic Harley Quinn for her jester head. I bought like cotton balls, but it's for the washing machine. But it was the most accurate thing I could find, because if you use like really light ball things, the jester things would just stand up like this and not have that arch it needed. So washing wooden ball things. I think that's the one.
Okay. Shae, can you tell me, if you were a pizza, how much cheese would you have?
Pizza and cheese. Depends. Am I being friendly or am I going full nuclear? A little bit of lactose intolerance. So if I like you, I'll have a little. If I don't like you, I'll take a buttload, and you'll take a buttload.
One day.
Right broadside, mateys.
So if we order pizza together and you see me ordering a lot, then you know how I feel about you.
Mm. I have been informed.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Little TMI right here.
I'm gonna continue with Raimund, Captain Raimund.
Hello, mateys.
What was your last cosplay that you took to a convention?
The last that I took to a convention is, I think it was this guy, Captain Wheelers from the Dragon Prince. And Nord. I usually pack both and use both because my Nord weighs about 26 kilos. So only one day thing. But it's when I want to travel light, it's this one. And this one was the last I was wearing. That was at the Stuttgart Comic Con last year.
We are
Cosplay is a bit of a challenge because it has 2 eye patches.
Were you even able to see something?
Tiny bit. Pinprick holes in the middle of the eye patches make me able to see,
Even though the character is completely blank by default. Ha!
We are finally complete.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Trooper.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Or yes? Great. Okay, perfect.
You look like Carl Urban.
Oh,
You have
Hey,
no
what is-
idea.
what a surprise you got! Yeah, I know you got no idea. That's right.
We'll get to you. Right now, I was with Raimund.
Yeah, at the right time. All right.
What can you tell me about the Dragon Prince?
Oh, that's a barrel. That's the kind of worms you're opening there. Dragon Prince, wonderful show on Netflix, and it's about. Oh, that's all a spoiler. You have to return an egg to a very important place. That's the first 3 seasons. And my character is a minor side character who is a captain who is blind, and they have to travel with an elf. And elves are not really liked in the human kingdoms, so he's the only viable option to bring them there, basically.
Okay, I
Other
haven't
than that-
seen that.
It's a big recommendation for this. It's an animated show, so
Mm.
if that's your kind of thing. And it recently got its 4th season, and the 5th is releasing this year, so lot to watch.
Have you competed in cosplay contests?
Multiple times, actually. As Solaire once, and 3 times, I think, as the Nord now.
And what's the funniest thing you remember during a contest?
Last year at FARC, it was absolute sheet weather, and they effed up the sound a bit. So I had no music, and I had to improvise my whole performance because without music doesn't make any sense. And in my head, I thought, okay, what can I do? I can fight shadow enemies. That works. So I go on stage. I brought arrows that I sticked out of my armor, so it looks like I've been hit multiple times, and ripped them out, threw them out, and made a huge ruckus with fighting. And the last thing I did was I fell down on one knee, and then I said, okay, this stuff is all metal. F it. And just face planted. And the noise was glorious. Like you went to the supermarket and pushed over a pallet of cans. Like, clang! It was amazing. And it was definitely the funniest moment I had at a contest.
I hate when that happens. When you upload your music to during your registration and they don't play it on the stage.
That happens.
Yeah, I know. But it kind of ruins the plans you had. So what's the strangest material that you have used for a cosplay?
Well, I use rather exotic materials for cosplay anyways. So my armors usually are made from metal, leather, and stuff like this. So it's more in the LARP direction. But for example, this thing here, this sword from Dragon Prince, is made from an old saw blade from a lumberyard.
Nice.
And it's sharp. So
Nicer.
Wait, so
But
that's a prop, or is this a you just display it, or like for photo shoots, or do you actually take it as a prop into a convention?
I made it as a prop for myself because I love the character who carries it, but it's a female character. So my lovely Kalia, who's sitting next to me playing ESO right now, is going to cosplay this character. So it's more for that. It was in anticipation of a future cosplay of my fiancée.
Got it.
Other than that, I made the Nord X from metal. So most of that stuff behind me is Warbler foam and stuff, but in this direction there are more weapons made from metal. And some cosplay props are there too.
I'm assuming there are some restrictions for you when you're trying to bring some metal stuff to a cosplay event.
Yeah, usually I try to avoid any. What?
Go first.
I had no problems with armor at this point, but I was anticipating problems, but hopefully not in the future. But I use wooden shafts for my foam weapons, and I had some. I don't know if we can let you in with that in the past, but the metal stuff usually stays at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to build anything twice.
I guess that gives you a chance to correct any errors.
Yeah, of course.
One last question for this round. Can you tell me what's your opinion about the price of vegan chicken salad with mayonnaise?
Way too high, way too high. It has to be free. I tell you, this country needs more free vegan chicken salad with rice. That's my political opinion, and that is the hill I will die on. Damn it.
Raimund for president.
Yeah.
Kimio.
What's up?
What was your last cosplay, or the last one you brought to a convention?
Oh, that's two different things. My last cosplay and my last bringing to a convention. What you want?
Let's go with the last one you brought to a convention.
Violet Evergarden from the series. Violet Evergarden.
Last time I interviewed a cosplayer of Violet Evergarden, she gave me such a depressing description that I don't know if I should ask you what it's about.
Writing letters and the family and war. It's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, it's basically free trauma in 12 episodes. So it's on Netflix.
I
Great
see a
trauma.
pattern here that all good Netflix shows have trauma in 4 episodes or something.
Yeah, and some for different reasons. Jesus. Like Violet
Oh.
is like a sad kind of traumatizing. Riverdale is like a I don't want to watch this kind of traumatizing.
Good to know.
Kimio, have you participated in cosplay contests?
2 so far.
2 so far. What's the funniest thing you remember during a contest?
The only funny thing that was quite a bit of panic at the time was that I couldn't. I was going to sing on my previous competition, which was actually when I was wearing Violet, and I couldn't. Like, I had a very specific soundtrack they were going to play off, and I had like 2 seconds intro before I knew my cue before going to sing in, and I was like telling them, please start when I am on the stage, and they were like, nah, we're gonna start the music while you're walking up the stairs to the stage, and I was like, okay. I was so stressed. I have a really weird picture of me just standing on stage, and you can see me being panicked, like I can't hear myself in the monitor. Yeah, so
See her fear in your eyes.
yeah, it's very fun to look back at. It's
Looking
still
back at
horrifies me in my soul.
Understandable.
They can smell your fear. Don't
Exactly.
let them.
I can smell my fear. It doesn't smell good.
Same.
Tell me one thing. If a ninja falls off a tree and there's no one around to hear it, does it still make a sound?
It depends if he rolls well on a stealth check, I guess. I mean, there is no guarantee that he falls stealthily just because he has experience in it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I'm going to say yes, he does. No, I'm going to say no, he doesn't make a sound because I believe in him. He can do this. He has experience.
He's a ninja.
He's worked for this his entire life. Why did I become Italian?
Trooper,
Tell me.
glad you could join us.
I'm glad to.
Have you had any new cosplay since last time we spoke?
Like began project, I guess. Yes. I began finally my Deadpool. I know it's a cliche, but I wanted to make it. I wanted to do it eventually, and this was like years back, and I never got around, and now I finally did. So, started with that, and then an Easterling from the Lord of the Rings that it's got me very excited. Not as much as Deadpool, but it's a work. It's about to start. I cannot say I have done much because what I did was first of all get the helmet that a guy's making for. Well, he was making for me. He already did actually. So he's making that for me, And once I get that, I'll continue to build the armor myself and the soft goods and everything else. That's pretty easy to put together because that's kind of like the undergarment of the cosplay. But yeah, those two are my cost plans right now. In the process.
Since that topic came up, tell us about your Carl Urban cosplay.
Oh yeah, so that's my last worn cosplay and the most popular cosplay, of course, because it's my favorite, number one, and because I do look like the guy, so I get that a lot all the time, and it's pretty awesome. So every time I go to a convention and I wear there's not as much fun when I wear anything else than when I do Elmer from Lord of the Rings. By the way, for everybody else who doesn't. Is everybody here familiar with the Lord of the Rings? Or
Of course.
Huge fan.
do I need to explain who Elmer is? Elmer? No. Okay. So that's it. That's the one. And it's actually, I think it's the best I've got in my list out of all the other stuff I've done. I think it's been the most expensive. It's been the most time consuming. It's been the most neat looking. It's never going to be perfect, but it is the closest to perfection out of all the other cosplays I've ever done. And I kind of feel like I could be myself in it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where, like, you know, yes, we need to, when you're cosplaying, you're pretending to be somebody else. You're doing a character, you're acting. But with that one, it's like I don't really need to do that much, you know, that much different. Like I don't feel like I'm out of my comfort zone. As a matter of fact, it's the one that makes me feel the most comfortable. I think that's all I can say about it.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
How expensive are we talking?
Oh, that was okay. That was around close. I would say we could say it was close to $1,500, maybe. Probably a little more.
That's about my Nord.
and it's weird because it's weird because a lot of the parts that were initially made have been swapped by new ones, and the new ones, put it this way, so the new parts they're more screen accurate, and so I consider, when I talk about the cost for this cosplay, I add the cost of the things that I replaced already. Where, like, for example, the helmet was initially a foam helmet, and it looked perfect. It looked really great, but eventually I got a collectible helmet, which was a replica of the original helmet, and I was like, I don't care bringing this to a convention. I know there's people that like to display it in their house, and they wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't, you know. I'm not that picky. So I put it on, and it looked so good on, like it looked so good on that I just literally grabbed the old one and put it in place of like the display, and just use that on the convention. Use the original cast made out of that has parts of metal. I think the horse hair in the back, it's real, and it's the material. I think it's a polyresin, you know, with, like, you know,
polyurethane or something.
Yeah. Cool. Which I thought it was made out of some metal, and one day I accidentally I was carrying it inside a bag, and I was at the hotel in the convention at one of the conventions, and when I'm going into the hotel room, like many others, the door just closes on its own, and it just came back. It was really heavy. It was a really heavy door, and it just came back really fast, and I was holding the bag with the helmet facing the hallway talking to a friend, and the door hit the helmet, and I could just hear like that little like cracking noise, and I got like cold, that like a chill down my spine from hearing that. So I went inside I immediately put it on the bed and like took it out of the bag, and I'm like just checking it out to see where the crack was, and there it was. There was a little piece that fell off, and I was able to glue it back together. But that's when I realized that it was not made out of the part that broke wasn't made out of metal like I thought, because it was like cool to the touch and everything. Like when things are made out of like some aluminum or
We lost Raimund.
Yeah, he got too
He'll be
excited.
back.
His internet just.
He was like, "This guy has a real replica. I'm out of here."
I lost.
Yeah.
How do they say in the anime? Marketer. Trooper, I was about to ask you what your armor was made of, but continuing with the script, what's the strangest material you have used on a cosplay?
I could answer both actually. But so the armor's made out of foam, but and some leather on the belts. Like the belts are actually leather. Uh, but the strangest material. That's a hard question. I don't know. I mean, strange meaning like out of the ordinary. Maybe is that because I feel like foam is just like nothing strange. That's like the go-to of things. Plastic, polyresin, any kind of like resin or wigs. I don't think I've ever done any kind of strange material. If it comes back to me, I'll let you know. But
Okay.
yeah.
You have participated in cosplay contests, right?
No.
No.
That's a big. It's a good thing it's a good thing you brought that up. I actually have never competed, except for the one time for Costa Rica Comic Con when they did the first Comic Con, which didn't happen because the COVID. And they did like an online version of like the event, in stages. That was my very first and only time, and it wasn't even in person. So, and I just thought it was a fun thing to do. But I'm not a competitive cosplayer. You know what I mean? Like I don't really. I enjoy and respect people that do that, but I don't do it myself. Yeah, I don't get up in the stage and do the whole thing and then wait to see like I'm like I feel like there's always the cosplayers that compete, they're so different from each other, but they're also so good on their own. Like each cosplayer is so that it's so hard for like if I was a judge, for example, I wouldn't know. Like I could, it's hard to not put your personal like say for example, I see something from Lord of the Rings which I love, and then I see something from anime. With all due respect, by the way, which I lack knowledge and I'm an ignorant about. I would I would probably vote. You know what I mean? Like the anime cosplayer would probably be even their work it's even more impeccable than the Lord of the Rings cosplay. But if they're really good, both of them, they kind of get at the same level. I wouldn't be able to like pick. So yeah, so I don't participate either. Yeah, it's
That
only that
is
one time.
true, especially when there's only one category. So
Yeah,
if you have
yeah.
one costume that is highly complex and
Mhm.
you can tell the person spent lots of hours building it next to a cosplay in which the person
Yeah,
just looks exactly like the character as extracted out of the screen,
yeah. See,
then
that's the thing.
who.
That's the thing. Sometimes you see all kinds of. See, the thing is, I would think, like, say for example, the Joker. Like, if there were, I don't know, 6 Jokers, and then the categories divided into like, okay, everybody who's wearing this specific character, even if it's from different novels or different movies or stages, as long as it's the same character, you can have a common denominator. You know what I mean for the competition. But when it's like all over the place, it's like it's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I join cosplay contests mostly because I like being up on the stage. That's where I enjoy
You like acting,
showing
so
off.
probably that's
Yeah,
another reason, right? You enjoy doing that, so it's another reason to get that.
exactly. That's what I enjoy the performance.
Yeah.
I don't care about the price. One time I remember that I registered for a contest that I was doomed to lose because I wasn't um, I mean, the rules were against me. The rules had these specific. It was like more like a craftsmanship contest, but my costume was just regular clothes, a black hoodie, some makeup. So there was no way for me to win anything. But it
Right.
was the only category available, and I just wanted to step on the stage and do some show. The funny thing
Mhm.
is that some people in the audience got angry because I didn't get any prize. They had so much fun with my performance. I don't know how many of you have watched the Ginosagi, the horribly slow murder with the extremely inefficient weapon. Kimio has.
Oh yeah, stunning.
That was my cosplay. And especially the people who aren't part of the community. For example, there some guy who was
Damn
in a
internet providers.
Wow,
But,
yeah, that took a while. You went to kick their ass and came back.
Basically, yeah. No, router reset takes about 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh yeah.
but we're back. What was I saying? Something about the Ginosagi? Yeah, there was
That you
this
were
guy
doing.
selling coffee. He
Yeah.
was just in a he just had a stand in the food court selling uh, coffee. But he approached me and he told me that my show was actually entertaining instead of those other participants who were wearing a big spiky hair and huge ass words, but stepped on the stage and didn't actually do anything. So that's what I enjoy, the reception of the audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you there. I think that's what matters ultimately. That's not about the prize only, or whether you win or not, but it's about um, getting a chance to you know show your work or your talent to the public, and in the progress. If you win, great. If you don't, at least you had fun.
Exactly. Creating memories and showing off.
Yeah.
We usually put a lot of work into all that stuff, so we have to show it off, or else it isn't really like. Okay, I can put it into the corner of my room now and can look at it. Nice. So, what next?
Yeah, not all the effort is reflected on the stuff we wear, also the
Exactly.
things we do with them.
Yeah,
So
that's
Trooper
true.
doesn't compete in contests. Then tell me, what's the funniest moment you remember during a cosplay convention?
Ooh. Uh, the funniest. I don't know if I should be able to say this in public. Is this live? This is. I know it's recorded and it will be up in YouTube, but
Yes, we're live.
all right. Okay. I think that one time the funniest probably has been one time that my friend and I. So my friend, I normally go to this specific con with two other friends, and they're a couple. Um, and then my friend, it's a male and a female. So both of my friends were staying all in the same room, and we're at the con early in the morning, and then we took a break at like maybe at 3 or something like that. The con ended at 7. But usually like 5 p.m. to 7, it's deeming down. People are already walking outside, and this is in summer, so it's like hot outside. We were in the hotel because we were taking a break from the con, so. And as we're like, as we're eating snacks and we're like having a drink, my friend's like, "Hey, look what I brought." And I typically, by the way, just this is a public statement. I don't smoke like often, but I would say that I probably do it like socially. Maybe do it like every once every like 6 months or something like that. I'm talking about weed, and I'm not talking tobacco. And it's kind of like the thing where I would do it if like a friend had some. I don't go looking for some, but my friend had a brownie that he brought from another friend who baked, and I was like, I had never like that. I think was my first time having an edible. And I took a whole, like, he gave me the brownie and he's like, hey, here. And there's a Ziploc bag with like a huge piece, right? Like this. And then like another piece that was maybe the half of that one. So I grabbed the piece that's the smallest and eat it. And then he turns around and he goes, did you eat the whole thing? And I'm like, yeah, you just, you give me the bag with 2 and I just had the other part. And he goes, you're supposed to break it into pieces and like just take a little piece because it's a very powerful one. And I said, oh shit. So okay, so then like fast forward maybe like an hour after that, and we're outside the hotel, and we didn't go into convention, mind you. We were just standing outside on the sidewalk laughing like at everything that was happening. And I think here's where the funniest moment that's ever happened to me, by the way. It's not that entertaining, but these little kids were coming out from the convention, and one of them, like, they had costumes, but they had a like a real microphone. Like it looked like it was like from a news channel or something like that, but it was like a real microphone. It was a real deal with like a wire, and like they had like a recorder and a bunch of things, and then there was a cameraman with them. I assume is like, I don't know, it was their father or something. And they came around the corner and they saw me and approached me. And my friends were talking to me at a distance, but we're like together. And this kid's got in between, and they go like, oh, can we interview? We're doing this interview for, to cosplayers. We just want to like ask you a bunch of questions. And it's like a school project. And I'm standing there and my friends are behind the kids, right? And I'm like, okay, sure, right. I didn't say no. And the kids started asking questions, like a bunch of questions, and I was answering them. But at the same time, like I was tripping while I'm answering the questions, and this kid had no clue. And my friends in the back are just hysterically laughing, and people look at them laughing, but they don't know what they're laughing about. And I'm there like answering the questions. God knows what I told the kid. I don't know. But he's like, well, thank you, and he leaves, and his father or uncle, whatever, with the camera leave also. And then they come back to me and they go like, did you hear what you said to the kid? Because yeah, that guy probably was just like, well, kids, this is why you don't do drugs. And that is going to go into like some school project that's going to be viewed by the class. But that was a funny moment. I elaborated a lot more than I should have. But it was just the funniest thing. I think nothing other than that I can remember has happened to me.
It's a cautionary tale, at least.
Yeah. It's a boring story.
No, it's super fun.
No, of course not. That's fun. It's a fun story.
Yeah, but that was hilarious. I wasn't counting on that happening. I thought it was just gonna be like just a mild relaxation, go back to the con and no problem. But I had to have the whole piece. So
It had a moral. One last question for this round. Can you tell me what's the importance of mustard in a cabbage cake covered in chocolate?
absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
No, there's no importance.
No importance.
No.
But doesn't it carry the flavor?
It messes up the flavor, maybe.
I don't know. It's on
such
the list of
combination,
ingredients, but there's no instruction for it.
It's for the mother-in-law.
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's what it is.
Of course. If anyone wants to know, the strangest material that I have used for a cosplay is a jelly. So mine is
Like
also
actual edible jelly, like edible, like the Jello, you mean, or jelly like a crafting jelly, like a.
no, it's not a crafting jelly. It's edible.
It's a gelatinous cube.
All right, please indulge us with why did you do that? Like, what were you doing? What was the part of the costume that needed that?
That's something I was talking about before you arrived here. I was saying that I'm avoiding to use lights and electronics in my cosplays. But when I made my Falco cosplay, he and Fox are wearing a reflector in Super Smash Bros. But since I don't want to use a light, then this green thing here is no light. See, it's a pack of jelly. I can
Genius.
And when did
take
you
it
do
out
that?
and
Oh, yeah.
you can read that it
The
says
little
jelly
one.
here.
That's genius.
I mean, if you get
Expired
desperate,
2005 expiration date. Oh wow.
if you get desperate during con, you can just.
Okay, yeah, but that's a really that's a very strange yet fantastic idea. I think for I would have I would have not thought of doing that such thing of using food as part of your cosplay.
Probably casted out of resin or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it already has the shape, so why should I bother crafting it?
Right. Right.
And there's one question that I like asking in my international episodes. What's the farthest place that you've been in cosplay, each of you?
Does reenactment count as well? Because then I can go very, very far. I
I'll say
was in Burgos once with my medieval armor stuff, with on the fin de semana sediano. We were playing the bodyguard for a German El Cid reenactor.
El Cid.
Yes.
That's the only book I liked from school.
Other than that, just Germany. But we are planning on going to MCM in London this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you going there as well?
I hope so, actually. But right now we're renovating the house, and everything has been pretty much put on stop. And my whole, as you can see, my whole living room is full of everything in the house. So crafting is a bit disabled, and it's also going to see when it's going to be finished. But furthest I've gone is also Germany. So to my beautiful neighbors, Dortmund Comic Con.
I don't know if you noticed, but one of my light bulbs just died. I'm in the dark.
Rest
Oh
in
yeah,
peace.
that's true.
Well, how
didn't
many
notice.
cosplayers did it take to?
Now, how many are going to take to change it? Yes.
We are 6 now, so we should manage.
I have the light bulb. You have the spot, so that's at least 2.
You just
I'm
create
just
like
a metal
pyramid.
builder, not an electrician.
Who has the skills to do this? Come on, people.
Laut BG erwischt es nicht.
Wait, I have a question. Why did you say that you don't want to use lights on your cosplays? And I might be personal, but like I want to know: do you have like an actual reason, or is it just like?
In the beginning, it was because I didn't want to mess with batteries or worrying for example, if a battery runs out, but the thing is sealed inside my prop, so I'm not able to change it.
Yeah.
That was my first idea. I started using LEDs with my Tracer cosplay from Overwatch. For now, it's the only cosplay in which it actually uses LEDs and batteries.
I even tried to get light into my Hirsine helmet somehow. That's going to be tricky.
I suppose. What about the rest of you? What's the farthest place you've ever been in cosplay?
I've just been in Denmark. I would love to go to the same as you guys in London and in Sweden. But you know, money's tight at times, so I don't go that
Don't
far.
remind me.
I tell you, there are more illicit methods to gain financial aid. Take to the high seas. We need money.
Yeah.
I kind of like your way of thinking.
So it's the pirate life, and the second alternative, OnlyFans. I don't know. I like how the girls are
Two
responsible.
genders.
I don't think I have the body for an OnlyFans account.
There is
You
a,
never know.
there is
There's someone for like every type.
yeah, exactly.
I'm when you're at
Not that I
this
know of,
topic,
but-
I'm really conscious because you know how Hirsine is depicted usually, right? With like totally ripped Schwarzenegger body. Why the fuck did I choose this guy to cosplay in our Dedra cosplay group? I am not this body type. Well, I will manage somehow.
Good luck, I suppose.
I think the farthest I've been is it's Costa Rica, probably. You know, because I don't. I mean, that's it. You know, and it was not the distance as much as like the hectic like transportation. You know, transporting everything basically was just a headache because none of it was something that could fit in a suitcase. And like pay the oversize and the overweight fee and let's go. You know, or pay for the second suitcase and let's go. It was like I had to get a container, and that container was like a hard shell, you know, Foot Locker type of thing, and put it all in there, seal it, put a bunch of I don't know. I even got written like a written notice that specified all the list of materials that were in there, so just in case I had to take it all out, because they're gonna take it out, they're gonna like dig and see what's in there. And the scan, once they see the scanners and all of that stuff, they also open it. So yeah, so stuff broke and stuff got messed up when I got to my destination, and I had to repair it before the con. But that's why you don't book a flight to go to an international con the day before the con. You do it you do it at least a week in advance so that you get to those repairs and you get to the con like you were planning.
When we went to Spain that one time, we hired a logistics company to send our stuff down there. That was the right choice for us. Maybe next time you could use something like this.
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, I think they still scan stuff for safety, don't they? Like not in the, maybe not where you drop it off, but like once it's like in transit to where it's going, they might just
I don't know if it's like this in
flammables, all that
EU.
kind of, yeah. Did it go on land? Did you ship it on land, or like did they say it was going to be going in a plane, or?
That was by land. I think we had to drop it off at the station. I think a week
okay, so that's a
before
different story.
before we got there.
Yeah. I think whenever something's gonna fly, it's like, you know, all the flammables, all that stuff. It has to be, especially in the U.S. That's always gonna be a headache with, you know, post 9/11.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a bit easier in Europe here with Schengen Abkommen stuff. Like every border is open for transportation and stuff. So you don't even need the passport for most of Europe.
One more reason why I've never been in the United States.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Europe, and now that I got so many Europeans here gathered, I'm heading over to London. Well, I'm going to Ireland and Scotland, and try to see hopefully much more of it down south. But that's the plan. So any suggestions, any advice, it's welcome. It's the first time I ever go there, by the way. So I've only been in Amsterdam once before, and that was it.
looking for specific advice or something? Just recommend where to go or something?
Yeah. I recommend like what other than just the popular, obviously like Liverpool, like whatever the Big Ben, things like that. They're just but like anything kind of cool, like strange, maybe not that popular type of
You're
thing that
looking
you
for
could
hidden gems.
yeah, hidden gems. There you go.
I think every castle in Scotland where you get your hands on. I think I've made a round tour through Scotland when I finished my I don't know what it's called in America, but Abitur, the 13th grade. My mom gifted me a Scotland trip, and I made a nice little round trip. And I saw a lot of little villages and castles, and I even set foot into Loch Ness,
Nice.
stuff like that. So just take a trip through the land itself. Don't specify on one particular place because you can't see it all, but you can see a little bit of everything. For Scotland, I don't know if you're coming to Germany. I could tell you more about that.
I might, but that's probably end of 2023 that I'll be in Germany. I got people in Germany too. It's not like but then London, for example, there's just I have no clue. UK in general.
Avoid the roads. Don't drive yourself.
Oh, really? Hey, how's the situation with taking like public transportation, not other than bus? Like, is it like a thing to take an Uber or a taxi? And I know that they do exist, but is it still like today? This year, 2023, is that something that's not as expensive to like maybe travel around, or is it better to get a bicycle and just go?
I think it's cheaper to like take like the underground, especially in London.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. It's a while since I've been there, but as I remember, taxis can be pretty expensive on like the underground. We had like a little card for the underground where you could put money in and just like type yourself in and out wherever you are.
Oh, like a week pass or something like that, like a.
Yeah,
Just
a type in, type out card when you go to the underground, and then I don't know how much it charges every time, but I think it's in the long run it's cheaper than
it's
taking...
decent, right? Yeah, it's always going to be more decent than anything else.
But should you come to Germany, don't rely on public transportation.
Not in Denmark either.
Not in Norway either.
Just nowhere.
Netherlands
Bus is always late.
Ubers are as expensive as taxis in the Netherlands, at least.
Yeah, taxis are very expensive here as well.
Just to tell you how bad it is, there is a song about the words about the punctuality of the German railway, and it's not good. It's not flattering. Because they're always late.
Wait a second. You're just saying the German railway is never, so they're never on
Never.
time?
Never. If you're lucky, the train arrives sometimes when it feels to.
I something tells me Dimas and I kind of have a I think that what you're saying is never going to be as bad as it could get in Costa Rica. So it's always going to be way that you just said is probably awesome for us. So it's
I don't know. It's unreliable AF.
I have been 3 times in Germany. One time, one of my hosts accompanied me to the train station, and she was constantly apologizing for the so-called traffic jam, which consisted in 3 cars behind the stoplight, which was red, so the cars weren't moving, and there was a reason. And she kept complaining about the public transport, but seriously, I saw no issues there.
We are Germans. We complain every time about everything because we are German.
As it should be. The problem is that we complain here and nobody listens to us, so we get tired of complaining. That is the difference.
I
Y'all
tell you a
got trail
secret.
lace?
That's the one thing we Germans are good at: complaining, and lots of it.
And I did have one unexpected problem in Denmark. On my way back to the civilization last year, I went to Celine knows that's where I met her. I went to a convention which was located, as my Danish friend said, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So after after the convention, I stayed there for one more day to have a rest and explore the town. On my way back, there were I think there was some shortage of trains, so they were changing the routes. And okay, I took the only train that was taking me back to the city center. That city that I can't pronounce because I don't know if it's Aarhus.
Oh, that's where I live. Aarhus. Yeah.
Aarhus.
Yeah.
It sounds like ice in Spanish. Ojos.
Aarhus. We for fun we just call it ear house because O is ear and hus is house, so ear house. Just for
Okay.
fun, so everyone knows.
Okay, so I took the train, which was the only train that was getting me out of there. And in the halfway through the trip, first of all, I noticed that the sign on the wagon changed the destination back to that other town that I can't pronounce either. Greno?
Yeah.
Okay. Which was where I was coming from. But I was like, wait, but we're still not in those. And then I'm hearing behind me that the train employee, I'm not sure if he was a driver or who, but he was telling the people to get off the train because that was the end of the road, that it was going back to Greno. So they kicked us out of the train. We were 3 people abandoned in the middle of a train station. And, well, I, as an outlander, had no idea what I was going to do next.
Yeah.
And since I was going back, I wasn't going back to Aarhus. I was actually going back to Germany. So I had to be at a specific time in the central station.
It's funny, it's like they always fuck it up when you have to go to Germany by train. Always. Like, either the train suddenly doesn't work and the speakers in the trains are so bad so you can't hear. It's like, in planes where they're like, when they want to say something very important but you can't hear
Right.
it.
Like that. So distortion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same in the trains, and suddenly they're just like, get out. Like, okay, but I gotta be there. I don't care. You just figure it out yourself. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly my reaction. I had nothing to do. In what position was I to say anything back? Fortunately, there was a bus stop nearby. There was just one lady waiting for the bus. So, yes, this is an active bus stop, and the sign says that only one route comes through here, and that way is south, where I'm going. So I'm taking that bus whenever it shows up. Fortunately, I had bought the 24-hour pass instead of the one-way pass because it was cheaper for some reason. Otherwise, I would have been. That's not the only time where I almost get trapped in Denmark. Before the convention, I almost don't make it to Greno because. Okay, when I arrived in Denmark, I could buy my travel tickets with no issues with my credit card. On the day I was going to the convention, my credit card wasn't being accepted by the application for some reason. I had brought 3 credit cards, none of them worked, and I had no. I was in a neighborhood. I wasn't near the city center, so there were no ATMs nearby. And I really don't know what I was about to do. Before I left the house I was staying in, I asked my host for help. He called the transport company for some options, for some assistance. The company told us that instead of using the application, we could enter the website. I tried that. My cards still didn't work. And at some point, it just occurred to me to use my debit card, which I brought only because my bank told me to test it. And I still hadn't tested it, so I was carrying it until I found an ATM. But I used that one, and that one did work. That one did take me out of the city of Aarhus. But I was very close to get trapped in Denmark.
Almost
And
became a shoulder.
so yeah, those were my only hiccups regarding public transportation in Europe. The rest has been a beauty in Sweden, Denmark, Germany. I
We
don't
have
remember
been
where else have I been.
we have been stuck once in Münster because of a storm. Like we wanted to leave the con, and then we said, "Nah, come, let's stay for another 2 hours." Those 2 hours took us, I think, 12 hours the next day to get home, with the usual train route ride of 4, because rails were out, because trees had fallen on them, trains weren't going because the winds were so strong and stuff. That was horrible.
You all have trains. Can't relate.
I like trains.
But the thing is, when you live on the west coast of Norway, like I do, I live on an island. I have to travel 4 to 5 hours by either train or bus. No, by train or bus, by car or bus to get to a train station. So, easy transportation has not been a privilege of mine when I'm traveling to conventions. And of course, I have to travel like 8 hours to get to the closest convention because I live in nowhere. And Norway is a big country. It's a long boy.
If you ask me, the farthest place that I've been from home is it has to be Sweden, since it's the northernmost place that I've been. And last year I was there in the Comic-Con Stockholm. Actually, I could fit 2 cosplays in my luggage. Shae Gorath was one of them, and the other one was the Joker. Since they both are just clothes, there's no armor involved, no big contraptions. I could fit 2 in my suitcase. But
I'm a little bit jealous of you because you're like, I could have 2 cosplays in my suitcase. I had to grab a suitcase just for my
For one.
Urukai from Lord of the Rings.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's
So
too much.
I
Just-
couldn't bring.
like 1 suitcase for 1 freaking costume, and then a bag for the rest.
But
I would probably need 2 suitcases for my Nord alone.
See, the thing with some stuff that goes in suitcases is it's gonna, with foam at least, or with like plastic or formed ABS plastic, that's not a problem. It might break if the pressure's too much or something, but with foam, I hate it when like you unpack and it's all deformed into something else when it has specific like a shape, and then it's deformed, and then you're trying to put it back in like like I don't bring my heat gun if I'm traveling somewhere else, like I might get somebody's hair blower or a hotel's hair blower, but yeah, that's the issue. So you got to take those in the hand. Like I travel with like the suitcase, that container I told you, but you check that in, so then you're good. Then you're just with like a backpack, but with the helmet in your hand. Like everybody's looking at you like, or you put it on. You just put it on.
They are just jealous.
Right. In the Middle Earth.
I had already asked you what was the funniest moment you remember during a convention, but sometimes after I ask this, I ask the people again, what's the funniest moment that you remember being outside, away from home? In my case, it involves this. The first time I traveled to Denmark, I brought my Falco cosplay to a cosplay convention there. It was called J-PopCon. And I got into the contest. Before going up on the stage, we had to enter the little room with the judges. So I was there showing each part of my costume. Yeah, and I made the mask this way, and this is made this other way, and I don't like using light, so this is a piece of jelly, and my boots are... Wait. That's a jelly? Can you take it out? I suppose it's not glued or anything. It still says jelly. And the judge went like, oh my god, it's actual jelly! You can eat it! And I am like, yeah, I suppose in case of emergency.
We should all make more props with snacks. Yes.
If you're brave enough, you can basically eat my Yersino cosplay because it's mainly leather.
Oh, well.
That needs strong teeth.
Yeah, or cooking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cooking.
A lot.
I have another story, but it's more embarrassing, funny. With when you mentioned prejudging, I was at FARC last year, and I had on my elbow there is a piece of metal with a strap around here, and I used those store-bought clasps, those buckles. I wanted to point at my left shoulder, and I hear a snap and a clang, and the thing lands on the ground during prejudging because the stamped buckle broke, like right into it, plank. And I was like, sorry. The only parts of the damn thing I didn't make myself, and they break.
Oh.
But the jury had a good laugh.
The story of my life. That's why I don't like making props. Everything I do self-destructs.
In the meantime, I replaced every single one of these damn buckles I used in the armor. I think I made over the Christmas break 23 of those belt buckles in this size. 4 hours for 5. Oh, my brain melted.
Has any of you invested in a cosplay element or a prop just for the LOLs?
Just for the... Sorry?
Just for the LOLs, just for fun, for the for the fans to recognize it?
I feel like
Yeah,
most of my props are just like for fun
Just for
because
comedic purposes?
because most of my props are either for Harley Quinn or Jinx, and they're already like lunatics, so their props are fun as well. And people are like, oh, that's so awesome! Like I just got my Harley Quinn gun. I can't even show you because I packed it away. And my Jinx gun, and I have my Harley bat and the big hammer over there as well. Like the big hammer is fun because it's like a cartoon big and not handy at all. And I accidentally once unknowingly hit someone with it because it was laying behind here on my shoulders, and I turned and I didn't see the person, and they got a hammer in their head out of nowhere.
Standard practice.
Yeah.
I got a bantamgua, like the little lizard chickens. Wait a second.
Lizard chickens.
Funny combination. Oh,
That's cute.
Yeah,
love
my
them.
girlfriend made it for me. It's supposed for another character I want to cosplay soon, but it's a trusty companion for every Elder Scrolls cosplay that's around.
She made that? That's
that's
beautiful.
Yeah, was a present for me.
What
Is
is
it like
its
one of
name?
the Elder Scrolls Online pets that you can use?
Yeah,
Oh.
from of Catwill. This is his trusty steed, Honor.
can she
Oh.
open like a shop or something? I want to buy one.
We have a shop actually, but we won't putting these things. in.
Yeah.
Plug the shop here.
No advertisement yet.
Why shameless advertisement? Let's go.
Other than that, I have a little toy parrot for my Wheelers cosplay, and I try to use my Wheelers voice, and then sometimes
I put in the parrot voice. I want to become a voice actor one day, so that's good practice.
I was about
good
to
job.
say something similar.
But not easy. Not in this economy, you could say.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you were some sort of voice actor.
I want to be so bad.
I
But it
want to
doesn't
be
pay
any
the
type
bills.
of actor.
Well, for the people watching, Raymond cosplay is really good at it. Send him
Thank
a
you.
DM.
Right.
Approved
It's
by
true.
the council.
Actually, the voice actor of Wheelers commented on a video of me playing Captain Wheelers and said Captain Wheelers approves.
That's great, matey.
Peter Kilamis, if anyone's interested.
All right. Yeah, I've taken theater and film lessons. I really like acting. I don't really consider voice acting most of the time, but that's also an interesting area.
Do it. Especially since Wes Johnson offers classes in voice acting.
Yeah, but they're so expensive.
$240.
Yeah.
I did one. I even got up at 1 a.m. every Thursday.
Are they worth it?
Yeah, of course they are. I did it for 6 weeks and had to work at from 4 a.m. Well, 6 a.m. But he's a great guy. So if you really want to get into voice acting, that's a good start.
That's something to consider.
He voiced half of Oblivion. Come on.
Including this guy.
Especially this guy.
Especially.
And Lucien Lachance.
Lucien Lachance, the generic Imperial Guards,
Mhm.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
a bunch of other Daedric gods, Clavicus Vile, Hermeus Mora.
And he's so sad that he didn't get asked for ESO to voice characters.
Okay, you've already seen my Sheo Gorath cosplay. I recently got my second Elder Scrolls cosplay, which I don't know where I'm gonna premiere it yet, but it's already here with me. Next, I'm gonna be a Dark Brotherhood member
From which entry?
online.
Oh, cool.
I still don't know when or where I'm gonna use it, but it's already here. Just need
So
to do
what's your next cosplay?
Started.
That's the one you just mentioned. What's your
Started just today.
Oh, that's very nice.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's for a friend. I'm currently working on this guy over there. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of
Yes.
things.
Saw it on your
Is it
story.
the guy with the antlers?
the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
person, the hunter.
Another Daedric prince. I will be the god of the hunt, Yersina.
The sportsman. Anyone else has made any props or bought any props just for fun?
Just for fun.
I had a John Hammond from Jurassic Park cosplay, and it was not like this is before I even started my the cosplay Instagram, so like it's not even registered there or anything like that, or there's no record of it. But I had bought a I thought of like it's such a simple cosplay with like just regular clothes basically that I wanted to add something to it, and got and try to you remember in the first movie there's a scene where they go into the dining like the dining hall of the visitor center, and they're serving like their sea bass with like carrots and stuff like that. So I was trying to make the plate, cook the food to bring it as a prop. The plate with the food, like it made no sense because it's like not a highlight from the character, but yeah, that was I would think that's probably one of the like silliest props I thought of using in a convention.
Silly is a good description of what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
I have a question for you all. What is the prop you are the most proud of that you made?
Does it have to be a prop?
No.
I'll be very dull. A pair of game accurate jeans.
Cool.
But I like the prop in the background.
My masterpiece. If you have played Mortal Kombat, you'll understand the reference.
I haven't, so I don't.
Instead of a fatality, you can also perform a friendship move.
Ah, that's I heard about.
In Mortal Kombat 11, Scarlet, for her friendship, she starts painting with blood on a canvas. You don't see what she's painting, but she's so wildly passing the brush. And at the very end, she turns the canvas to the viewer, and that's what she shows with great pride.
It reminds me of the drawing of the Dunmer in the Fighters Guild quest line in Oblivion. With the drawing of the Agonian and him. The really, really bad drawing.
Kind of rings a bell, but I don't really remember.
It's hilarious. You have to look it up. It's with the Blackwood Company. Carved Nord dagger. Weighs about a pound.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, hey, I remember now one one funny prop that just for the LOL, but it was for the Clockwork Orange. It was a glass of milk. Technically, that was it. So I just got milk at the corner store and brought a glass with me, hoping it wouldn't break or fall, and filled it up and just walked around with that thing everywhere we went. That was it. Yeah.
Hey, I have this. I went to the supermarket and bought this because it's similar to. I have already told you that I have a Tracer cosplay from Overwatch. If you have played it, you might notice that one of her winning poses is just her holding a cup of tea with a piece of lemon on the side. But the funny thing is that the skin that I have is the graffiti skin, so she's wearing a mask. So if your team wins and there's a graffiti tracer in your team, during the victory pose, she'll be like this, with the mask still on.
Hey, I'm gonna wear a prop since everybody, well, not everybody, but most of you are wearing a prop.
Go ahead.
Put a helmet on, for the sake of it, right?
No, but to answer Raimund's question, this isn't the prop that I'm most proud of. This was just something that was next to me. The prop that I'm most proud of is also from Scarlet. It's the scythe. That's the prop that I like the most of the ones that I have
I
made myself.
have to look it up later on your account. Yeah, probably.
I don't have
pictures
it
of
nearby, so I can't show it. Maybe if I can find a photo here, I'll show it to you.
But to your question, the funniest, I just remembered I made a little speck of bird poo from acrylic paint and wood glue to stick it on the jacket of my pirate, because the bird is always sitting on his shoulder. And the people got, wait, you made the bird poo? Yeah. That's hilarious.
Such realism.
Yeah, it's a bit flexible because of the wood glue. So it you can press it so it sticks to the cloth. I love that helmet. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't hear anybody. Because this is not going to work.
Put it from behind upwards, like from put the strap on the neck and upwards. That's how I do it at work sometimes, if I have to weld a lot.
No, it's not going to work.
Oh, do it like Dimus is wearing it.
Huh?
Like just on the neck.
Like,
on the neck.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can barely hear everyone.
You look
There you go.
snazzy.
You're punished by unfortunate helmet shapes, such as exactly as I am with my Nord.
Unfortunate, yeah. That's better.
I had to thicken the teeth on my Nord helmet here so I don't poke my eyes out.
Oh, Celine, I want to see your Urukai. You said you had an Urukai?
Yeah, my boyfriend has one too. He's in a Danish Urukai group.
Oh, is that I follow that group. I think it's the same. It must be the same one. It's a huge group of like a bunch of. They do all kinds of.
There's Mosal, and then there's one called Ukup. The Ukup one is like the biggest one I think we have in Denmark.
Nice.
And they often work with Moselle at different events and such. It's pretty cool.
It is.
It can get pretty intense as well. They do a lot of LARP in it, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of fighting, and I was with them at some point, and just like shooting pictures of them, getting some cool shots. And I think I got hit in the face, I don't know, like 20 times by either like their hands or a weapon or whatever. Like, no, I'm just photographing. I'm not in the fight. But yeah, it's cool.
So close, it hurts.
Yeah. And they stink. Oh my god. I tried on my boyfriend's costume at some point. I don't think, like, when he's done using it, he just stores it in a bag. And it doesn't come out until the next time he uses it. And it stinks so bad. Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
leather
accurate.
is, like, half rotten from, like, sweat and rain or whatever. And the fabric just, like, the sweat is still hanging on.
Makes it more
And I don't know
authentic.
why I got the idea I wanted to try it on.
But
Because it's so
that's not
disgusting.
that's not unusual for armor. I have gambesons that don't smell very good because you can't wash them properly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
They're not washable, so you need to air them immediately. The moment you take them off,
Yeah.
just air them until you can't.
Yeah,
The
but
breeze helps a
my
lot.
boyfriend just like, nope, it's supposed to stink. I leave it. And I'm like, no, please,
Manly
for
odor.
everyone's else sake, please take it out. Just let it out.
Justice Ray Urukai.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff you can put down in shoes so they don't smell. Can't
Yeah,
you just
he's-
shove those?
They breathe.
Put that down. In his
You
bag.
should have armor Wunderbaums.
I use
Yeah.
Febreze on my gambesons. That works wonders.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
I found a picture of my scythe here.
So,
Let me see if I can share the screen. That's my scarlet scythe.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
The stick is a PVC pipe, and the blade is it's inside. It's a piece of cardboard, and outside it's thermoplastic.
Nice.
that's a
Like-
very nice stick.
Warbler or something else?
Thermoplastic. It's like Warbler, but it comes in pellets.
Ah, okay, cool.
Oh. Is that the ones you have to like heat up and then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
one. I think it has a different name, but I don't remember.
Polymorph?
Polymorph, yeah, that one. The person who told me he was polymorph was Danish actually. But since I bought it on eBay, and it came with the name of thermoplastic. I can't get this off my own screen.
What about you, Kimio? What's your most the prop you're most proud of?
Kimio?
Oh, me!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dropped out for a second. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna listen until I hear people start talking. I do not actually make a lot of props. I am mostly focused, like seam based. I do make a lot of sewn costumes and do a lot of hairs and makeup and stuff like that. So I haven't delved too far into the world of props and stuff like that yet. So I don't have anything specific I feel like I can show there that I'm like super proud of yet. So yeah. I mean, I did make a mechanic hand for Violet Evergarden, but could be better. Could be better.
Couldn't it always be?
We're learning.
Trust
No
the
work of
process.
art is actually completed
No, true.
ever.
But when it comes to funny props, I actually have I once just bought a letter that said like my condolences or something, just so I could put the stamp of Violet Evergarden on it. So that was funny. And then I used to just carry around. I did Music Man from Five Nights at Freddy's, like a humanoid version of him, and I was just carrying around a big ass boombox blasting music as a prop, and that was a vibe. I was just like, okay, we put on some music because I am Music Man, and that was really fun.
Accurate.
The reason why I could tell easily which one is the prop that I'm most proud of is because I have almost done nothing. So it's easy to choose. And my oldest works are, well, like Kimio said, they could be better.
Oh, I think I actually remember one thing that I made. Where did I put it? I don't know. Shit.
To say could be better, my first cosplay was stapled together. Because
Okay, I
I
have
couldn't
no
be
idea.
bothered to sew.
I put it here. I don't know where it is. Basically, I used like an evening to make a little rose out of paper, and I was super proud of it.
That's a move.
I was really
That's
happy
cool.
about it. I used like hot glue and paper and a bobby pin, and that was a prop I was supposed to use for a performance once, and then I got corona. So
Sucks.
now it's around here in the room somewhere. I swear I saw it yesterday, but
I think like the prop I'm most proud of is my Ahsoka headpiece. Her like thingies.
Oh, the Tortuga.
Yeah,
Is it called
exactly.
Tortuga or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
I think that's the one I'm most proud of because like foam and latex, it's shitty to work with at times. Like create air bubbles and shit. But it worked out. And the most like also the most fun one. It's not my prop, and I don't know if it's really a prop, but I'm in something called Troopers for Charity, a little version of like the big Garrison 501st Star Wars group, and I have both Ahsoka and Anakin. And at one point, I have a friend who nice. Who has an Obi-Wan as well. And I didn't know. I was in my Anakin cosplay and my friend in his Obi-Wan. And he just came over to me and put his hand in his pocket and just like sand onto my face. Just like, no. Pocket sand. Yeah. Because we all know.
We just got a reminder that he's the trooper Heinz.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
my cosplay name comes from the fact that was my very first ever costume, fully whatever assembled costume. Before that, it was all kind of like Halloween version type of costumes that I would make myself at home, like Kimio said, like seamless stuff, like not like anything like was too elaborate. Like I remember I think I was obsessed with like police robber type of video games. Like I played this game called SWAT, and it was just like a strategic, like going into the house and getting the hostages out alive and all that stuff. And like I thought of I had a paintball mask that resembled it was similar to a gas mask, but it wasn't a gas mask. And that made me I'm thinking I should make this custom and make it a thing. And I remember the patches, the officer patches on the shirt and on the vest that I had. The vest I bought it from a store that was selling used clothes, and it was like a fishing vest, but I made it look like it was blue at least. So and I printed, like, this is how cheap it was. I printed the I created them on Paint first of all because I wanted it to say something else, but I created the patches, the police patches, and then printed them on paper, and then put masking tape on them, and then glued them back on the shirt. Walked around with that like it ain't no thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was it. I think I made I made a version of the Clockwork Orange back then, but not as good as the later version. The later version has like everything. It's like got the eyes on the sleeves and like the mask and everything else. Yeah.
I found another of my silly props here. I also have a Batman cosplay, and I have the shark repellent.
Cool.
The bat shark repellent.
The bat shark repellent obviously is from the 60s Batman, where
Adam, what?
where you got all the special effects on screen.
Robin, get the battery. What's a Terry?
Classic.
That's actually a good idea with the like POW and
When I was in the Comic-Con Stockholm last year, there was some cosplayers of I don't watch Naruto, but they were from that anime. I think it was Gai Sensei and the disciple of Gai Sensei. When they got on the stage, they placed they like taped some cyan or light blue pieces of paper below their eyes as if they were tears.
Youthfulness.
It was simple, effective. Everybody could understand that. Just like this piece of cardboard.
It's a great idea, and it's a nice visual addition.
Mm-hmm.
It catches the eye.
Mm-hmm.
I should make some of those.
What's
too, I think. It's a good idea.
I was gonna say, what is the weirdest thing you've done in a cosplay that, or not in a cosplay, but like part of your cosplay, whether it's part of the costume or part of your act or part of your, like, I don't know, put it this way, like say, I don't know, carry a speaker around with the music of what you're representing or what you're wearing, so that at least there's another clue out there for some people that might not even recognize. Like I get a lot with Ermer people think I'm a Viking and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, nice Viking costume," and it's like, yeah, well, thank you, but you already get used to it. And so one thing I did for the last time I wore it was I got one of those JBL speakers that are kind of like a cylinder, and they have little like, they had the little like shoelace on the end. I wrapped it around my waist, and I just carried it kind of like a grenade attached to my belt, and I blasted Rohan's like all kinds of Rohan tracks while I was wearing that, and still people call me a Viking.
Wow.
That's something that's not as strange. But what I was saying was asking you guys, like, what's this, like, what is something kind of like similar to that you've done for your cosplay that you've had to like carry with you and stuff like that, like it goes hand to hand with that funny proper for the LOL.
Kimio has something.
Yeah, so this is not a cosplay I've been wearing to a con yet. This is very much a crack cosplay because I don't think it should be taken seriously at all. I was cosplaying Momoko Koigakubo from the Ghost Stories dub, which is, she looks like a total casual anime girl, but I'm wearing around the Bible because she's that annoying Christian girl. So I have been using the Bible as a prop for her. I don't know if you've seen any of the dub. It's quite offensive.
I've never seen what you're talking about, but it just sounds hilarious that you needed the Bible to like
Oh,
to complete the acts or whatever, you know.
oh, please! I find it really funny because she's
Yeah.
like, she is. The reason I feel I'm okay to do this is like she's super homophobic and she's Christian. I have a Christian past and I'm queer, so it's like I'm just taking that character and making it my own.
Mhm.
So I find it really funny, just like going around as this queer person, just like homosexuality is a sin.
Just pure spite.
Yes, I am taking back that religious trauma.
I have several actually, because you know Solaire from Dark Souls, the Praise the Sun guy.
Mhm. Praise the sun.
Praise the Sun. On every con, I wear this armor. At least 4 times I get mistaken for King Arthur from Monty Python. Because the freaking sun looks so similar. And are you from Monty Python? No, but thank you. Ich habe den Sachsen das Angeln beigebracht. Seitdem sind es die Angelsachsen und ich bin der König aller Angler. The other thing is the same with my Nord. Oh, look, Mom, there's a Viking. Technically correct, but no. So, and there's usually nothing I can do about it. I tried to use the Ebonheart Pact banner for a bit of clarification, but that didn't help. And with the captain, there's one thing I can do. I need to have a Rayla with me, so the female elf lead character from the Dragon Prince. Then they recognize my character. Otherwise, not.
Okay, but that being said, it's so annoying when people don't recognize your character. And as somebody who has been cosplaying Deet from the Dark Crystal, I have heard a lot of, "Are you cosplaying Shrek? Is that Baby Yoda?"
I have gotten like something similar to my Uruk Hai because I haven't got my mask yet because money. And the one who usually makes them just closed his shop for a while. So right now I just like have a green face paint with some white marks here and there, and like some ears going a little down, and a long wig with braids and everything. And every child who have seen me is like, "Oh, you're Fiona from Shrek." I'm like, "No, no, I'm not." And I'm like, when we have like an amusement park here where every Halloween we get invited in to dress up as monsters to go around in the park. And I did that last year in my Uruk Hai. And as an Uruk Hai, I could say anything. I could like go to someone and just like, "Fuck you," because that's what we do. And kids are like, "Fiona," I'm like, Fiona doesn't say "fuck you" to anyone.
She would. She
would if it was, if it wasn't a kids movie. But yeah, and I could have killed so many kids that day, but I didn't.
Born character, part of the
Yeah.
I have a friend. It's not mine, but a friend of mine. He had a cosplay of Mandrake, the magician. And at that time during that convention, I was the Phantom. So we were the defenders of the Earth. But when he was on his own, people called him the Tara from DC Comics. And there was, on that same day, there was a Constantine cosplayer. So when he was next to Constantine, he was a Tara. And when he was next to me, he was Mandrake.
2
I'm just
cosplays in
gonna
one.
be like
Mhm.
every kid right now to Chuba Heinz. It's like, "Are you Spider-Man?"
Mhm,
No. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, kids these days know And Deadpool
They know
enough to
Deadpool
know
now.
Deadpool's Deadpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does happen with the rest. It's funny. It's funny. I got just a sidetrack, off topic to what you guys are talking about. But this mask, depending on how your face is built, and like your jawbone or whatever, like I got this just in case. I don't know if I need it. I actually recently got it, so it's a prosthetic it's a chin prosthetic, and it basically kind of makes your chin more prominent if you need it to. But I have a beard, so like mine, it's kind of it looks it's okay enough. But I guess like it just like because I have a full beard, like it's also kind of thicker here. So in order for that not to look as round, I put it on. But it's the straight. It's not the strangest thing, but it's a strange thing to do because I'm like I just like never put a mask on with a prosthetic to make my face look different. But it is funny.
If the prosthetic is big enough, you can make kin crimson.
Yeah. Oh, look at how cool this is, by the way. Yeah.
Crimson Chin.
So like if I'm
Crimson
like,
chin, yeah.
if I need a break, all I do is pop this out. If I hold on, there you go. Pop it out. And it's peekaboo. That's it. Oh my god, this is awesome. You can breathe. Yeah, but it's great. It's great. The fact that these are like interchangeable. Oh, and they got I could like make another one with like a different expression that's not just a standard face. Like one with like surprising eyes and the other one would like wink,
That's so cool.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
want one too.
It is.
I don't cosplay Deadpool, but there have to be more versions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think
that's a one character, by the way. Sorry, that it's like it's you could do a lot of stuff with it, because there's all these little add-ons that you could put on, and it's not going to look bad. Nobody's even. You can even make one up that people are not going to notice unless they're deep fans or it's. Yeah, but it's like you put the mask on, and it's almost as if you're wearing the mask from the mask. It just like it changes you, and then you start talking different, and you start like acting like Deadpool, and you don't even realize that you're getting into character automatically because it's such a, I don't know, it's such a like peculiar, personality.
I know a Deadpool who's running around as a cook. He's kitchen Deadpool.
Yeah.
Something like that. He has a rubber duck, not rubber duck, rubber chicken. Those squeaky ones. I always have on the bed. Like,
Right.
I feel like that's a thing with when you put on a mask because no one can see you, no one knows who you are, so you can just like do fucked up things. While
it's like a sense of security. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. While me having like Harley Quinn, she's crazy, but because you can see my face, I don't feel like I can do what she would have done. Because people can see me and people know who I am. But if I wore a mask, 100% I could do it. But not with
same with full enclosed helmets.
I think that the secret is somewhere inside of, it's somewhere in the eye contact type of thing. You're hiding behind a lens or a mask. You could just, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But the moment your eye, like somebody makes eye contact with you, your face is bare naked. Your brain just triggers you to be like, just like, cautionary or whatever. But like when you're under a mask, you just feel like you're a god.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do whatever you want,
Say what you want, but fake paint or body paint has been more successful in changing me than masks.
Yeah, okay.
For some reason, anytime I wear a mask, everybody knows who I am. But if I'm not even trying to hide myself, if I'm being the Ginosagi or if I'm being the Joker, but surprisingly, people have no idea who that guy is.
The power of makeup.
The power of makeup, exactly.
I feel like I focus more on not sweating it all off when I'm painted like orange or green or pale white or whatever. I'm like, no, 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 no.
That's why I
Yeah.
like my helmet.
Yeah.
The helmet doesn't care.
Mm,
Heat
that's
protect.
true. Can't argue against that.
Did you ever test your props on durability?
Hell yeah.
I once shot one of my test pieces of armor with my crossbow,
Oh,
and it held up.
metal
like-
armor, then I hope.
Battle ready.
Like we usually test our weapons for if they are stage ready, because my girlfriend and I, we met as Solaire and Solaire. We both had the same cosplay, and we had a performance together at a con, and we clashed swords and we hit shields, and suddenly we had only hilts in our hands and the shields were on the ground because the straps broke. And since then we test our stuff. Do you use something similar? Because, well, it has to be stage fit, and it shouldn't break with first small impact with a dust speck or something.
Well, I definitely wouldn't go as far as a crossbow, because foam.
Yeah, okay, my stuff is metal, so. But it's not an extreme example.
Oh, but layer enough foam, and it's actually proper armor, as in it can take quite a few blows, and
That's
it
true.
will not bend shapes.
Now I want to test how thick the foam has to be to stop a crossbow crow.
Mythbusters Cosplayers Edition.
If I do, I will record it and you will see it.
No, I don't usually test my props that violently. Not only because they're made of foam, but sometimes it's something that I can't replace. So if it breaks, it's gone.
Yeah.
For example, we use steel cores for our foam weapons, like spring steel, thin rods. It's a step up from wooden cores we had used before that broke all the time. Something like this, like durability.
Wait, what are you doing with your cosplays that you're breaking props that have wood in them? Really?
Stage performance.
In the
Wow.
stage performance, you end up breaking it?
Yeah.
In that one chance you get to be on the stage for like a couple of minutes, you break the prop.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have a background in HEMA and sword fighting and stuff.
Yeah, you wanna make it authentic as possible. That's why.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a problem. So yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna ask. Never mind.
I do get passionate when I'm performing up on the stage, but
Exactly.
Normally I
Goes to
don't
the
use
point where you
weapons.
break anything.
Yeah.
You see that axe over there?
Uh-huh.
In the last performance, I threw it into some stage boxes, like 4 or 5 meters, full tilt.
It landed
Nothing.
in someone's head.
Not even a dent in the axe. Because I like to build my
I like to build my stuff durable, like it is dwarven or something.
Yeah, when I
Sorry,
wield
very
weapons recently, it has been guns and they're plastic. So if I do that, they will definitely break. But when I'm up on the stage, I don't really care. So it could be. Sometime it could occur.
Has
mean-
anybody? Oh, sorry.
No, okay.
Oh no. Now I just
Most of
my question
my-
popped back again. So go ahead.
then ask it while I remember.
Have you gotten something taken out away from you at a convention? For say, you go in and then you had a prop and you access the convention, no problem. You're inside, you have the prop, and then like all of a sudden security comes and says, no, you know what, you just can't have this. Or something like that. It could have been like they changed their mind, or it could have been like you walked over to the hotel where the convention is, with everything, and then you're sent back because you can't bring this in or something like that.
Security has approached me but hasn't taken anything from me.
Same for me.
Yeah, my friend had like you could see it was a water gun. He just painted like you could still see the water gun's colors underneath what he had painted. And first it was like, oh yeah, no problem. But then we got over to like the convention, and they got a little unsure of it. I was like, I think you need to put like the orange tape around it so you could see it was a fake weapon. And then
Yeah.
we had to go back to where we were sleeping, and they couldn't understand why he needed that because they could clearly see it was just a water gun. So we went back over, and then they were like, "Oh, we checked the rules. You need the orange tape around." Like, okay, thank
So
you.
they put the tape, and then you were good.
Yeah,
At least, all right.
and the funny part is, I was walking next to him with this, and it's a wooden bat, and I could bring it in. This is more of a weapon than his water gun
Right.
was.
Yeah, that could kill somebody, and the other one.
Exactly, and they have never taken that away from me.
Yeah, it makes sometimes they don't make sense. It like
No.
the last one was I had to bring I had the spear from the Lord of the Rings armor spear, and it was the replica of the spear, and it's made of polyresin, but the stick is actually
The shaft.
the shaft is wood. Yeah, it's wood. So they said that it was hard enough to like hit somebody and knock them out, and I said, I mean, you technically could do that with a cell phone, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, it's not about, and he's like, well, it looks sharp, and I'm like, but it isn't. You could touch it. You could. So, anyways, he ended up saying no, So it messed up my character because the spear is the only thing I had in hand. I didn't have the sword or anything like that. I didn't have any foam parts that I could use as props. So I had to go bring it back to the hotel, and then later. So later, I ran into a friend inside the convention who's she was an exhibitor, and she had a booth, and I commented what happened to me earlier, and she goes, "You know what? Are you coming tomorrow?" And I said yes. Just like meet me at 8 a.m. in the back of the building. The exhibitors go into the back, and then they put their stuff away, and then the convention starts later in like an hour. And I met her in the back the next day. It's just like bring the spear, and it's a spear that you kind of like you screw it together because it's like two parts. And I brought the two parts, and I said, "Here it is." And then she just put it under her booth and like hidden under the curtain. And then in the convention, I just came, picked it up, put it together, and then walking around with it like it ain't no thing. And that was it.
Perfect.
2 days in a row, no problem.
That's genius.
Yeah, fucking assholes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to Gamescom 1 year, so they tried to take away my helmet because it's metal and has no chin strap. Because I could hit someone with it.
Oh, yeah, because you would take your helmet off just like boink.
They had to call their manager, their supervisor, and he came over, and he was a proper Colombian guy, like they are. And I was, don't make such a fuss, but in a deep Cologne accent, it was glorious. And go in, and the other guy just looked like. Because they tried to take away a freaking helmet.
It's stupid.
But other than that, never problems with any security or something.
Yeah, me neither. It's just that when I play 47 from Hitman, I carry the guns on my pockets, and they check if they are real or not.
You see the ballers.
That's it. Yeah, the silver ballers. Also, at the Comic-Con last year, they checked the scythe of Scarlet to see what it was made of. They noticed it was PVC, so okay, this thing will break first before breaking someone's skull. So I had no problem at all.
I haven't been checked for any weapons or anything. There was once I was cosplaying a policeman, so I had some fake handcuffs with me. They felt the need to check that. So there were 2 big fake handcuffs that they couldn't even open. And then I had 2 tiny ones for your thumbs, and they checked them. But that
what
was
are you gonna do with like 2 times?
I mean, I managed to. I arrested the Jinx cosplayer's wig.
Oh, wait.
No, but they were
I mean-
they were just really they just checked everything in to make sure everything was fine. So they were not really that strict. They just wanted to see everything that could count as weapon before they got in. So
Yeah, they should start checking Jinx wigs because those braids.
Mhm.
I'm standing there hitting my friends with them all the time. They're pretty
especially
heavy.
with those huge metal parts, you could knock someone
Exactly.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah, wigs are more dangerous than helmets. There, I said it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Who
with
would've
some of
known?
these glue wigs, you could stab someone.
Oh yes.
Like with Cloud or something.
We've heard it here first on stream. Wigs are more dangerous than props.
Yes. Exactly.
The more you know.
Yeah.
I just noticed that we are already 2 hours through the show. There is one final question I'd like to ask everybody. If you could choose one person you would think would accept being on this show, who would it be?
I need my Instagram. Hold up.
Doesn't want to come.
You want us to say the name out loud or just
You may message me either here on the private chat or on Instagram, or you can just say it out loud and it'll remain recorded here. So I don't have to write anything down.
I have to think about it. There are several that came to my mind in instant. So
Yeah, I
I
also
also-
have like some,
yeah?
but then I like think them through, and I'm like, I don't know if their anxiety would just go through the roof, or you know.
That's all right. I'm okay.
I have
I
a
think I
nice
have
little
one,
list for
maybe.
you.
The reason why Shae Tallad is here is because I asked one of my previous guests of last episode, and the name he dropped was Shae Tallad. The same for Kimio.
Oh my gosh, my cosplay dad, the friendly Viking.
Friendly Viking.
I have reverse adopted him to be my cosplay dad because when I went to this thing called Folkehögskola, it's basically just kindergarten for adults for a year. Yeah, he was my teacher there at cosplay for 2 years, so I have been so privileged to get to know him and his fiance. She would maybe want to be on here. Athera cosplays. I'm just sending it back to them.
That counts.
gotta
That's all right.
Hmm.
maybe someone from our Daedra group would be interested. I will ask around.
A Daedra group.
We have several very, very talented cosplayers in there. Like Wesen's costumes and Nakawanga and Schildwand and such. So they are top-notch crafters. One of them even has their own foam shop.
I'm gonna recommend Levy Like. She's a very good seamstress.
Levy Lake.
Levy Like. She's also from the Netherlands, of course.
Mhm.
Netherlands gotta represent, you know.
I think I have made up my mind on who I wanna. I know I said a name, but I have another name.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I want to suggest Oni underscore cosplayer. Oni underscore cosplayer is one of our NCC contestants for this year. So one of our representatives from Norway for the Nordic Cosplay Championship. and she's an absolute sweetheart. I really enjoy talking with her, and she has done a lot of fascinating both teamwork and metal work, and yeah, she's worth checking out.
So many people who actually makes metal armors.
That's
Uh,
cool.
In this day and age.
In this economy,
What is
Especially
this?
since steel appears to be
Patriot.
that's Petra.
steel seems to be a bit cheaper than foam in the meanwhile.
Really?
Yeah, for a sheet 1 meter by 50 centimeters, I pay about 14 to 16 euros on Amazon with 1.5 millimeter thickness. That's not much. And I need 3 to 4 sheets for armor like the Nord.
And how much do you pay for a sheet of foam?
Was kostet der Foam momentan?
Let's Google this.
Was kostet the foam?
Welches ist der Preis für den Foam im Moment? Der aktuelle Marktpreis?
Wir sind nicht geinformiert.
Das ist der Merchandise.
Foam.
It's been ages since I last bought some foam. This black tube you see behind me, I got it in the pre-pandemic era, so I don't know what are the current prices.
Anywhere between €7 to 17 euros for a 950 by 450 millimeters. Don't ask me what this is in feet. Oh, Trooper Heinz, I think you're muted. I saw your mouth move, but I didn't see anything.
Sorry, yes, I was muted. My bad. Never mind. Tallad, is that what you're wearing? Is it cyberpunk?
Definitely.
Okay, great.
Okay, I have to correct myself. It's cheaper even. Like foam is cheaper. At least with the thing we use.
Mhm.
Okay.
So your
I
next timer will be foam?
Oh no! I was asked by Kamui if my next armor will be foam, and I said I have my foam axe. That's enough.
You know Kamui?
No, we met her at the con, and I think she tried to guilt trip me into making foam armor instead of metal.
Oh, I was just
Yeah.
watching her videos to try to understand the world of LED lights. Oh, but
I'm a bit predisposed, but yeah, doesn't matter.
I don't understand shit about electricity. I just know that the on button turns it on, and the off button. But wow, I am fumbling with my words right now.
We're on the same boat, Kimio.
Thank you.
What is this blue light?
We're
Give
on
me a
the
high five.
opposite. We're mirrored.
Haha.
But I'm on the boat with metal now. Don't jump on that ship. It's so much maintenance, so much
I can imagine.
oiling, scraping the rust off. It's so much work. After every con, I have to put half a bottle of Ballistol on that stuff.
I guess you need some protection gear for working on the metal.
Yeah, that too, but not much more than for working with foam or casting resin or something. Like respirator, hearing protection, and something for the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I do need some special tools, like welders and such. But hey, that's my job.
Yeah, I would really like to have an income based on cosplay or some sort of art. But I'm not a blacksmith, so that's not an option for me.
I build railings for a living and balconies for rich pricks.
Balconies for rich pricks.
All our customers are pricks. Sorry, it is like that. They treat us like we're their servants or something. But that's the life of a craftsman.
The servants of balconies.
Yeah. I hate my job. Never mind.
Actually, I've only sold one cosplay piece that I've crafted myself, and it wasn't even here. It was from for some reason, some lady from the United Kingdom contacted me for a mask that I had for the Vault Boy from Fallout. So that's one of the reasons why I don't cosplay that anymore, because I don't have the mask anymore. I haven't made a new one yet.
There are many people wanted to buy this thing from me, but I don't sell it. That's fine. I will keep it.
But can you make another one?
Theoretically, yeah. What you see here is, I think, 20 to 22 hours of work.
I'm gonna do this. We already passed 2 hours, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna put an end to the show. The ones who want to stay connected here, we may stay here for a little more. But in order for me not to have a huge ass video file to
upload,
that nobody will watch entirely.
right?
So just remember that everything is relative except that which is absolute. In that case, it would be absolutely relative. I'll see you in the future. You'll see me in the past.
Absolute.